Afternoon. How are we all doing? Afternoon. Ian, Peter, Kevin. 4 hour and 1 hour chart on the Aussie US seem room to come down. Gold up, oil up, stock futures up. Yeah. Peter, 13% gain on H1M5 this month. Good job. Good job. Next mission, learn to live with constant drawdown. That's the name of the game. That creates that. Basically. Afternoon, Crumb, Julio, David, Monkey, Kennelly, Fletch, Godagos, Emac, Virginia. How are we doing? So, just watching EuroCAD at the moment. Dropping. We just had all the news today. CPIs, as I said this morning, came out as a negative. It was pretty much a given that was going to happen because we had the figures coming out yesterday. So, yeah, no shock there. Euro down. GDP came out as a slight positive for the CAD, 0.1, which is good. Then we had unemployment claims come out as expected, along with PCE. So the market has had a mixed reaction to that news, is all you can really call it. A hell of a lot of wicks, no real movement. So, yeah, it's a bit... I would say it's probably more bullish than bearish for the US and CAD, but nothing particularly exciting. So it's a bit of a difficult one to read, that news today. It's an as expected result, but ever so slightly bullish, about that much. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But we got PMIs coming out at 2:45, 15 minutes after market open. We'll see what happens with those. Scanning through the news, Williams has come out again here and said we could hike again. Is at or near the peak interest rate target. At or near, meaning more potential hike. It's just crazy what they can't make their mind up at all. Still too early to know if the Fed has done raising rates. That's not what you've been saying for the last few months. But anyway, yeah, fine. It's your prerogative to change your mind. So we've had some news out of OPEC. Oil had a bit of a spike off of all the news we've had. The news is basically seems more cuts. But whether it happens or not, we'll have to wait and see. But it was kind of we're still not sure what the hell's going on type scenario so far, from what I can understand. So no real, I would say, confirmation there. I mean, that's not a very big cut in production at all. It's nothing. The idea being we want to drive price of oil up, which means we reduce production, basically. The less of it out there, the more expensive it is. It's simple economics. I don't think they really achieved it. So, as it says here on the last one, total cuts could approach 2 million barrels per day, depending on countries' willingness to contribute, i.e. nobody could really agree. So we're hoping that the 1 million we've kind of agreed now might turn into 2 million in the future. Hopefully, fingers crossed. It just seems like, here we go. Where's the other OPEC one? JMC meetings end with no recommendation. So it's basically the same as every piece of news we seem to be getting at the moment. It's woolly as hell and no one's got any idea, which doesn't help us, obviously, does it? Yeah, there we go. We'll see what happens. EuroCAD's coming down very nicely at the moment, though. I've got tons of profit all over the place I can take off, which I'm going to look at in a minute. DAX, utter pain in the backside today. DAX, I couldn't get... basically got hedged this morning. It just didn't go anywhere at all for the first half an hour today. So we got the long break. We hit yesterday's high, came off of yesterday's high, did the gap fill, pushed back up again, and then we started this grind all morning. So I tried to get out at that level. That didn't work. So I scaled into another short when it looked like the bears were starting to roll into the market. Then the news hit and it came back down again and ended up with it's not a $1,900 loss. It's yes, it is a $1,900 loss. Yeah, sorry. So yeah, $1,900 loss on the morning. Couldn't do anything with the DAX today. So I tried to get creative with it today. This was such a lovely, long, grindy, long move. I was expecting a really quick, snappy profit take on this and then a jump, which is why I got in there. Didn't want to do it. So volatility obviously expanded when all the news hit. So I've got out of it there. Done. Couldn't make any money on the DAX this morning. We've got 2 minutes to the open. Few ADRs today, as you can see. So obviously, as you can see for all of these, it's US dollar and CAD based. There's a Swiss yen in there as well, and Swiss based actually. So mainly US dollar though. So there's quite a few ADR hits today. We'll go through these, but obviously you can see the Canadian dollar, the Australian dollar's weakening a little bit, Canadian dollar powering up a bit, Swiss franc having another go. So it's all move, but just about hit an ADR. So we'll see where we go. Afternoon, everybody else. Brian, Neo, post hoc ergo prop to hoc, which I can't remember what it means. Dion, Yarp, Yotco, James, how we doing? Question, what is the CFD lot price for NAS? Is it the same as a contract? No idea. Don't know. It's an easy way to find out. Well, I know. I mean, how would you work? Go and put a one lot long in, pending order, and then drag a stop loss down, work out what it is per pip. I don't know. I've no idea. I don't work that way. I work on risk based on distance. I don't work on contracts like in the futures market. So I don't actually know the answer to that one. Euro CAD ADR. Market's just opening. I am short NASDAQ and S&P and long on the Dow at the open. Wow, that's a real mess, isn't it? Start the more afternoon off. Okay, bit volume coming in there, which is good. So pre-market, not a lot of movement on these this morning. We have had a little bit of upside, as you can see. The Dow almost hit ADR this morning, not quite. S&P, little spike up and drop, and the same with the NASDAQ, same movement on the NASDAQ. So we haven't really gone anywhere since we opened. So plenty of room to the upside, plenty of room to the downside. So because of this obviously big rally that we had yesterday and this complete drop that we got on the NASDAQ, we're equidistant positioning really between high and low at the minute. So ADR to the downside is yesterday's low. ADR to the upside is 125 ADR. Ignore that because it's just part of a move like that. So upside and downside targets basically are going to be highs and lows of the day. S&P just above 125. We got yesterday's low is a little bit closer on that one. And then obviously we got this area down here, which is ADR to the downside. So you've got a little bit more of a bounce potential there and then down to that level there. And NASDAQ, we've just tapped straight into yesterday's low and bounced immediately out. So that was it. So I'm going to be hedged on everything today. This is going to be a fun afternoon, isn't it? By the looks of things. So upside target is going to be all the way up there. I'm not sure we're going to get up there, but we'll see. God, this is a volatile open today. These indices at the moment are so erratic. I'm hedged on the NASDAQ. not hedged on the S&P yet. These opens at the moment are just horrible. It's been a horrible month. I'm basically almost back to break even on the month. Well, I'm not actually. I'm about 6 or 7 grand up, but it's not. I was a lot more up. It's these opens are just horrible at the moment. I just can't seem to get a break. We haven't had a clean break this week, apart from one NASDAQ, which hit 2R and then immediately reversed itself. So it's just an awful open at the moment. Can't trade CFDs. That's why I'm asking. Well, if you can't trade CFDs, then why do you need to know, Brian? Why do you need to know the CFD lot price for the NAS if you can't trade CFDs? It's relevant information for your brain. Don't fill it up with stuff that you don't need to know. It causes conflict. Believe me, I've got lots of it in there and I don't need it. XR update.news, afternoon, morning. So S&P broke short, hedged on the Dow. I tell you what, why don't we just run up there for a bit and then come back down here again just to complete the set today? What a horrible open. This is where you want to take your 5-minute ranges and forget the pre-markets. But then every time you get a pre-market which makes you 5 grand, you wish you had have taken the pre-market. It's very frustrating, this market at the minute. Afternoon day trader FX. Beginning after US dollar yen. We'll have a look at that. That's an ADR hit today. Propulsion gap fill. So these yens, obviously US dollars rallying at the moment, which means these indices should all drop. Would be nice if they drop nice and orderly, but it doesn't seem like that's happening today. So we've had a bit of weakness in the yen. As you can see, everything is rallying against the yen at the moment. We looked at all these as being good RSI extensions. Not all of them, but some of these being good RSI extensions this week. So they are all starting to play out those profit take moves on the drops that we've had. But I would still be short on them overall, personally. I'd much rather be shorting everything against the yen at the moment because I think it's probably going to power up a little bit, but we'll see. Euro odd. That's just sitting nowhere at the minute. 3 days sideways. Just sitting in the middle of nowhere. Nothing much to look at on Euro odd. Literally, it's going nowhere. Load of rubbish. Oh my God, look at the state of this today. Dow is going long. NASDAQ is an inside bar. S&P has broken short. What a mess. I think I'm going to decide, I'm going to put my risk down on the DAX at the moment. I've got a feeling we're going to start getting a little bit contracted going into Christmas as well. So I just want to reduce risk a little bit on it. Just keep the risk the same on all the instruments. I have been using slightly higher 0.5% extra risk on the DAX. Mornings like this, you go, I wish I hadn't. But then all the other mornings where we've had nice clean breaks, I've gone, that was good. Right, Dow's broken long. Big strong move to the upside on the Dow. We're very close to ADR on the Dow as well. That's just 3.5R to ADR. Just about TP on EuroCAD. Might as well just take that lot off, actually. We're just beyond ADR. We're coming down to this level. So this is the one we were looking at this morning. I'm looking at that level for a bounce potentially. If not, we're looking at this area down here for a bounce. So depending on the size of your kahunas, you will either be looking for an exit here or at 150 plus ADR today. But I'm getting out there. Okay. There's one anyway. Okay. So out Euro CAD, banked 0.7%. I'm just going to do a little bit of drawdown control here. We're over it. We're beyond ADR on Aussie US and Aussie CAD at the moment. It's coming down pretty hard, isn't it, actually? CAD yen, we just had some OPEC news. Yeah. OPEC plus curbs come alongside extension of Saudi 1 billion cut. What? OPEC agrees 1 billion barrel per day supply cuts. Okay, so that's going to be bullish oil and bullish CAD, which is why this is coming down. So we should see a rally on oil. And CAD. So which those was manual. One sec. Two. I'm just going to close out my I'm going to close out my manual position that I took on the Aussie CAD, and I'm also going to close out an Aussie US up here. And I'm just going to do a little bit of DD control on the Aussie US. We've got one position at 386 and one at 597. So I've banked 1.7. That is, so I'm just going to close half of that position down there. So just closed half of that out, which brings the average up a little bit closer. Only reason I'm closing this here and just closing that position, if this pushes up again, I can add that back on and take it off again. What I don't want is this to act as a support and us just bounce out without having banked some profit. I need to get some profit on the table, basically. So I'm just reducing that down. Basically, the Aussie CAD and Aussie US are pretty much duplicate positions. Whatever happens to the Aussie is going to impact both. Whatever happens to the US is going to impact the US and the Canadian dollar. So this is kind of pretty much the same position. You'll see these moving in tandem together. So having both of these on, this is kind of like 6 positions on the same trade, basically. So I'm just reducing the risk on that a little bit. Euro US dollar as well. Oof. That was a big pop. That was a US pop. These indices must be coming down, surely, yeah. Okay, target. I'm out of the... sorry, one sec. I'm just closing the Dow longs. So I'm closing the Dow longs. I'm short only Dow. These are coming down hard. If this US dollar is going to continue to rally as it is, this Dow is going to come down. So I will re-hedge it if it doesn't, which might be a costly decision. But the fact that these two are dropping hard, we've got this coming down, we've got the US rallying, we've got the Euro as well. that should come down. So I'm out of that, banked $650. Closed out net zero on that. So hopefully that will go short and produce profit. So if I can get a profit out of that and a profit out of that, that pays for that and it chips into that and it gives me hopefully a nicer day. That's a real shame about that trailing stop. For that. Trailing stops. Stop profit. Right, so I'll keep an eye on that in a sec. I'll just move that over to that. Right. Sorry. All over the place at the moment. That was an aggressive drawdown, wasn't it? On Swiss. So I just need to do these before I do any analysis because I need to get this profit off before these moves stop. So Euro US dollar, closing that one out. 2.24. I'm going to do a bit of drawdown control on the CAD Swiss. Just going to close out a quarter of that. There is 0.6. 8. That'll do, I think. Okay, so I've got 1.78 banked. Drawdowns get a little bit more under control now. We'll see how these moves play out. We've got plenty of room to move on this CAD Swiss still today. This CAD should continue to rally. However, we've got a hell of a lot of chop here on this to get through, to get back up to these propulsion gaps, which is where I need to get out over 150 ADR. I don't think it's going to do that today. But this is good news for oil, good news for CAD, good news for the US dollar. So it should all hopefully start to unravel now. I'm just doing a bit of drawdown control in case it doesn't, just to reduce some of that. So I've just put more in the bank basically to deal with this if I need to. Oh, this is volatile as you like today. This is jumping all over the place. There's a hell of a lot of volume coming through today. This could be the start of this pullback we've been waiting for on these indices. So all these indices, Aussie dollar Swiss, this is the end of the month as well today. So we're going to get a lot of book balancing going on potentially. We are looking for a pullback on this month. We haven't had any pullback, no profit takes. They are long as you like on everything at the moment. There's been nothing reduced. So we're looking for a big down day on these indices at some point. They're all extended to hell. So this could be the start of that drop. So we'll watch it and see how we go. But obviously, if we get this rally continuing on the US and the CAD, the indices should start to roll over. And if they roll over, people are going to start to see that rollover and they're going to start to act accordingly. So if we get a break below ADR today, everyone's going to see basically a last-ditch attempt to go long, failed price discovery, break short. So all the longs basically who are seeing their P&L reduced and reduced are going to then jump ship. They're going to become sellers and we're going to get that exponential move. Climb up the stairs, fall down the elevator shaft. So see how we go. Could be the start of that move. Euro US dollar 150 ADR, that's still rallying. Big day. Only thing not going my way is the Dow. The one thing I've closed out the long on is the one that isn't actually going short. Everything else is going short. Six. Just getting ready to re-hedge just in case. We will have a look at the FX pairs in a minute. Sorry, it's a bit hectic at the moment. Why are you not going down, Dow? Look how volatile this is today. There's a hell of a lot of volume coming in. Dell earnings later. Can't see Dell earnings on there. Salesforce today. Doesn't mean they're not reporting. They're just not important enough. So I will do some analysis. Just while these moves are underway, I need to keep an eye on the P&Ls and just act. We're really extended on these ADRs now. There's no point in looking at ADRs today. You can see what's going on. The market is rallying hard on US and CAD. Swiss franc is rallying as well. Everything's coming down against the Swissy. You can't see it against on the US Swiss though, because obviously the US is rallying at the same time. Ow, what are you doing? Okay, Dow's not gone anywhere for the last 10 minutes. So we had the initial cash balance go in there. We haven't broken it for 20 minutes. We're still sitting inside that range after 20 minutes, which means that there are a hell of a lot of buyers sitting on the Dow today. For those to be able to sell off so hard on the Dow, literally not bat an eyelid, this looks like this could turn and pop, which means this US move is possibly not actually going to happen. Which means I'm going to get hedged on the Dow, which is bloody annoying. Yeah, re-hedged on the Dow. What a day. What a way to finish the month off. Loss all over the place. Ugh. I believe Powell will also be speaking tomorrow. Yeah, Powell's speaking tomorrow twice. Got 2 lots of Powell tomorrow. 4 o'clock and 7 o'clock. So he's going to potentially upset the apple cart further tomorrow. Forward for the Dow gave a good result. Yeah, that's probably helping that. Santa rally began 1st of November. Yeah. A little early. It's when they start doing the adverts on telly, isn't it? Basically. 1st of November, right, let's start advertising Christmas. Santa rally. Yeah, a little bit early, but yeah. Which makes me think we're not getting one because this thing's so extended. I mean, look at it. Yeah. It's pretty hard to rally off of that. And I mean, this is going to go down in history as one of the biggest moves on the indices we've had for a long time. If that now does a December rally, this is it's a biggie. So we're just coming up to resistance on the Dow. But yeah, it's one hell of a move. So we're just approaching monthly high on the Dow at 125 ADR. Really don't know where to get out of these today. Dow's breaking pre-market highs. So that's just cost me double the hedge, basically, getting out of that. Not a lot I can do with it today. We'll see where it goes. Right, let's have a look at FX. So we've got ADRs all over the place today. Aussie dollar CAD is ADR to the downside. So obviously you can see all these moves that are going in, really, really strong moves. OPEC may meet again before year end. So really strong moves going in Canadian and US at the moment. Obviously, these are all potential mean reversion opportunities. You are really going to struggle to get into a lot of these if you did want to do an ADR reversal on them, because the speed of these moves, as you can see, you're going to need to wait at least sort of a third of an ADR or more before you even get a reversal alert on these. So trying to short or mean revert a move of this speed and magnitude, not always a good idea. This is good news for the CAD. The fact that oil pricing should rise now, so could be a sustained move. Aussie dollar Swiss franc rallying today, so that's hit ADR as well, just about tapped into ADR. No reason why that should really be rallying particularly hard, the Swiss franc, so there's potential mean reversion opportunity there. Not quite extended, not really a particularly good level either for a bounce, but Aussie US extended. So again, all these US dollar moves potentially could continue, but we'll wait and see. US dollar's a mystery at the minute. CAD yen, Swiss yen, ADRs. So yen weakening massively off the back of that OPEC move that's just started. So they're selling the crap out of the yen again. Euro yen rallying, New Zealand yen, US yen, all rallying hard. This is potentially just an end of month sell-off that we've got coming in here. The profit take move that I spoke about this morning. End of month, we need to balance the books, monthly, quarterly reporting. They need to get their profit in so they can get their Ferraris bought. So a lot of moves will start to unwind as they basically just back profit, basically. So all these moves, very difficult to determine whether they will pull back or not. So just be a bit careful with them today. It is the end of the month. Reverse alert's just gone in there on Euro US, a potential long there off of 150 ADR. Just be careful if you do get into profit on them. Just protect them a little bit if you're using stop sort of scalping ADR reversals. But there's loads of opportunities there. Your RSIs are pretty flat at the moment. Aussie New Zealand is now extended again on the 4 hour. So we got out of extension on this one this morning and it's just extended again. We are absolutely stuck off the back of this New Zealand dollar rally and this Aussie drop that we got. The CPI figures dropping on the Aussie. The New Zealanders kept their rates the same, which rallied the New Zealand. Obviously, Aussie New Zealand dropped hard on that news. We haven't gone anywhere since then. So we got that whacking great propulsion gap in at the moment. We're coming down straight into another propulsion gap, which the buyers seem to be buying out of. So you're basically stuck between a rock and a hard place there. Very difficult one, but slightly extended to the downside. But that's not, RSI extensions. What you want on an RSI extension is a sustained rally that is likely to have a profit take move. Yeah, this is just basically a dump. Not a very good opportunity. Euro Swiss, massive extension on this one. I've got 2 positions on this at the moment now. So just taking the second one this morning. Nice big drop. We're well extended on the 4 hour, hourly. We're extended and embedded as well. So I don't have a problem being long on this at the minute. The Swiss franc will weaken at some point, and then obviously that euro will get a chance to rally, or the Swiss franc will be reversed, and obviously that will just push the euro back up again. So got 2 on that one. First one taken yesterday, second one taken today, because we've had 2 ADR hits in a row. So 2 positions on that one. I'm just looking to get out here, which is 125 ADR to the upside at the moment today. So basically where that initial position was, just taking the profit on that second position and getting out before that support, which could turn into resistance. If that doesn't hold, we will be looking at coming back up into here. Yeah. So basically this support, we hit that multiple times, that level, just kept hitting it, finally broke it. So these two propulsion gaps that you see here, treat those as one. That's where you're going to retest. Probably. If we don't have some catastrophic news come out from Lagarde where she says, actually, we're going to reduce interest rates next week. There you go. Euro pound. So nice extension on the 4 hour, just about extended below the 20 level. We looked at this one again this morning. So this move here potentially is what we are profit taking. You've got that level there, which we've tapped into and are rejecting. Failing that, we've got this little accumulation there, which is potentially your next upside target, basically that propulsion gap. We looked at this one as potentially bounce here, which is basically done, isn't it? Spot on. So your reversal alert on that one this morning, yeah, it was all the way down at the bounce point. So that was your entry this morning. You should be in and out really on that one. But yeah, so that one's already played out. Euro New Zealand is the other extension we've got. Just given a reversal alert, really messy entry that. But that's extended on the 4 hour as well, just about. So we've got divergence there. So that was the initial extension that we got yesterday. Price push down, made a new lower low. RSI made a higher low. So nice bullish divergence, looking for it to come back up into this area. Possibly retest that area there. So at least up to there, if not up to there, which is a pullback on that move. Again, Euro, they're talking about reducing interest rates quicker than expected. So we're looking at April now for a reduction in the Euro rate, but we're not going to do the Euro rate reduction until we get the US rate reduction. The US always goes first. Normally, I mean, might change, but typically the US is the first to reduce. Williams has come out this morning and talked about them potentially putting theirs up. Yeah. Literally change their mind with the wind at the moment. The Fed, nothing unusual, but so indices at the moment, Dow, we're above ADR now to the upside. It's very hard to pick targets on these today, apart from looking at, I mean, at Dow, we're out of the highs, aren't we? Yeah, so we're up at, we're literally in the highs. We've bounced. This is exactly the sell point, look. What to do with this morning? Dow. I'm just going to exit those Dows. If this breaks back down below my entry, I'm going to get out the longs. And again, I'm going to look at re-hedging if we break those highs. But looking at the other indices at the minute, they are selling off hard. NASDAQ's just made new lows on the day. S&P's just putting in a 3-bar reversal back at the propulsion move at the open. So we sold at the open. This was the initial batch of sell orders came in. We've tapped straight back into that, sold it immediately. So S&P and the NASDAQ selling off hard. Can't be long on the Dow when those two are going that fast in the opposite direction. So kind of don't want to be long on it while those are selling off so hard. But I will have to re-hedge it if it does go back up. So if I get out of those buys and we do start to push back up again, I'll have to re-hedge again. It's going to be a very expensive day today. This is an absolute mess, this market today. How to ruin your month. How's my monthly SIH? It was really good until today. So I was $9,000 up on the other account. I am now break even on this account. So $9,000 up on the month. $10,000 up on the month at the moment. But I've got $1,500 in drawdown. So $8,000-ish. Which is good. I'm happy with that. But today's not over yet. And the way today's going, the way the DAX went this morning, the way that the Dow is going at the moment, and the way that NASDAQ is going, I'm not convinced it's actually going to be a particularly amazing day today. NASDAQ, we're down at ADR on the NASDAQ. We're approaching support. So I've got TPs down here. I'm just going to move these TPs down a bit because I just need to analyze this before I get out, because this seems to be coming down far too hard to exit. Okay, so we're beyond ADR now. This is a previous support resistance area, this propulsion gap, which is 125 ADR. 200 ADR today is your next downside support. But like I said, we are due a sell-off on these indices of magnific proportions, aren't we? So if this is the start of that sell-off, I do not want to be getting out too soon today. Sorry, I just need to adjust the position over here. Blimey. I didn't get hedged on the NASDAQ on my other account. Yeah, of course I didn't. So basically this hedge on the NASDAQ, that's the high of that candle. Exactly where I got in. My other account, that didn't get triggered. So I'm short only on the NASDAQ over there. So on this account, the S&P's hit target, the NASDAQ's hit target, and I've still got a trailer on this. Difference a pip makes, look. Literally, the difference of that pip is the difference between that account producing huge profits and this account not. It's that tight when you're scalping these opens. It's so I keep saying back tests. I'm not going to tell you how it's going to happen. You've got to forward test this strategy because you're going to get very, very different results to what you get in a back test. Okay, out of the Dow. I'm out of the Dow longs, so I'm just going to watch for a re-hedge on these, but we'll see how these play out today. What size is your monitor? That's a bit of a random question, AZ. 40 something. This monitor is 49 inch. I think. Yeah, that's my monitor. That's what I trade on, this one here. You're only seeing a tiny portion of it. So you see what's in the middle. It's a much, much bigger monitor. one of them. And then I've got 2 either side. New Zealand dollar yen ADR. What a hectic day. How does one get Forex job without experience? What do you mean a Forex job? You mean working in a bank? It's not a Forex job. I don't know the answer to that one. What's a Forex job? You'll have to clarify what a Forex job is. You mean working in those little booths at the airport? Working in the post office where they do currency exchange? Working on a large international bank on the dealing desk for foreign exchange, dealing $50 to $100 million a day? Many jobs that could be related to Forex jobs. I don't know. I'm not a Swiss yen. Yen's getting hammered. I'm not a recruitment consultant. Sorry, can't help you with that one. New Zealand dollar yen double top potential. Pound yen also approaching a double top at yesterday's high. Yen getting absolutely slaughtered today. Possibly just a pullback though. Euro Swiss 125 weekly range. That's still dropping. Euro. Swiss franc rallying still. Or is that euro dropping now? It's euro dropping. I'm really tempted to hit the short button on this Dow again. Very risky. Oh, did I just miss the Dow gun? This is the kind of day just want to hit the short button and come back this evening and see where we've ended up, because this thing could drop a couple of hundred ADR today, which is why I don't really want to get out of this NASDAQ. I just want to let this run in case we get a really big move. I just can't really find CAD yen 125 ADR. I can't really find a low that I'm interested in on this NASDAQ. So we've broken out this low now on the NAS. Failing this area, we're looking at potentially that support resistance. If that breaks, we've got the weekly level there. And then obviously that is your kind of low of this sort of accumulation, if you like, this whole accumulation. So we've got the weekly low there, that accumulation, and where we are basically now, which is ADR. But we've got all of that distance potentially to do. If you look at last year, we just collapsed for weeks in December. So I know we normally get a Santa rally and everyone loves a Santa rally, but it's very hard to have a Santa rally after you've pushed literally for 30 days on the trot. Is the DAX influenced by the US indices? Yeah. So basically, obviously, stocks move in sectors. So if somebody's buying a sector of stocks, the DAX will contain different instruments which will be in different industries, as they all will. So if the Dow rallies crazily because people are buying up motor stocks, for example, the motor stock industry will rally. This contains 4 of the largest motor manufacturers on the planet. So if, it's like someone said, Ford's had good earnings. If Ford rallies the Dow, that will rally Mercedes, Porsche, and Volkswagen. That will rally too. So if they're buying a sector, buying the motor sector, they'll all go the same. So there's all stocks. And obviously when you get people pulling money out of currencies, you need to put that money somewhere. So with investment vehicles, you are basically always going to be in something. Yeah. So if you pull your money out of the Forex market, you need to put it somewhere. So you probably put it into stocks. You pick sectors in stocks. If you pull it out of stocks, you put it into oil, commodities, whatever. So money's always in the market, but it just moves around. So you'll find that if people are just buying stock sectors, they'll all go at the same time. It won't be as impacted as others, though. So if you look at yesterday's move on the DAX, where we had that ADR, way over ADR hit. So we did, was it 150 ADR or something yesterday? 216. ADR is 100. So we did 200 ADR yesterday on the DAX. If you look at the other instruments like the NASDAQ, during the DAX rally, it didn't do anywhere near 200 ADR. It did 116 on an ADR of 154. So it did 3/4 of an ADR. So where the DAX moved 200% of ADR, that only managed to move 75% of ADR. So obviously the vast majority of the stock purchasing happens when that index is open. So this index is still open, but the vast majority of the business is done at the start of the day rather than at the end. Right, Dow's stalling out a little. NASDAQ's also stalling out. Aussie dollar yen, ADR, really killing this yen, aren't they? Swiss yen just coming up to a very nice level. Glad I banked some of that profit. So it's all starting to pull back a little bit. CAD Swiss is still moving nicely. US dollar Swiss pulled back a lot. Pound CAD 125 ADR. Big hit to the downside. Loads of ADR hits today, but just be careful with all these. This is just end of month selling, so, or end of month book balancing. So these could go on. Could go on for the entire day. AZ, so it's because mine is 27 inch and your display looks a lot nicer than mine. Think about what you're saying there. How can my display look nicer than your display when you're actually looking at my display through your display? How does that work? It doesn't make sense. You're looking at my monitor through your monitor. Therefore, my monitor won't look as good as it does here because you're looking at it through your monitor, which is a lower specification than my monitor. EuroCAD, unless I'm misunderstanding what you're saying. EuroCAD 150 ADR. I'm really glad I got out of that. It's make the wrong decision day today. US dollar CAD, ADR, Canadian dollar on the march. Big style. Matrix. What? Where are you going? Where are you looking for profits on the CAD Swiss? So CAD Swiss, basically, I'm looking at. So I've got an aggressive position that I took this morning on that one at this low. So we've got the reversal alert basically there, which is why I'm long. My TP on this aggressive drawdown control position is here. Yeah, so just under that propulsion gap. So we're obviously coming up to a propulsion move now. So if I zoom in so we can see what the hell I'm talking about. So we had this accumulation here, which we broke down from. We had that accumulation there, which we broke down from. Then we had that sort of double top move there. So my target is at the low of that propulsion gap. So if we can get 125 ADR today, I suspect we might get a little bit exhausted and then pull back a little bit from there. So that's why I'm looking to get out of the aggressive. When I exit the aggressive position, I'll do more drawdown control on higher positions. So a little bit like what I've just done. So I've used the profit from those other trades. Good example of, cover this in the boot camp, but I've just got out of a load of positions in something else, and I've used that profit to do drawdown control on the CAD Swiss, because the CAD Swiss is my worst position. So, when I get out of the CAD Swiss there, I do not have to use that profit to reduce my CAD Swiss position. If when I get to there, the US dollar Swiss has dropped, and this is actually my worst position, I'll do some drawdown control on the US dollar Swiss. You're looking at your entire account as a portfolio. This is my positions at the moment across these instruments. I only do drawdown control on what is causing me pain. So that's where I'm looking to get out. We've got to get there first. But obviously, this whole move here, we had a little flag break on it, but that flag break potentially is pulling back. So this could be a multi-week reversal W, and we're looking to start a new move up. That's where I was initially looking to get out. Look, all the way up there. But I don't know. We'll wait and see what happens. At the moment, yeah, it's looking good. Oil is one of those instruments, as we know, when we've been looking at oil over the past few months. Oil is one of those instruments that looks like it's about to go and then it collapses. Then it looks like it's about to go and then it collapses. Yeah. So we have a big, strong rally. We push down. We get some amazing news. We gap up, fill the gap, do the gap and go, and then it collapses. Yeah. Right now, OPEC have said they're going to reduce production, which is going to drive oil prices up. The Saudis will turn around and go, nah, don't fancy that, and it will collapse. Yeah. So this is why you need to get out when you can get out and do drawdown control when you can do drawdown control, because it might look good now, but that doesn't mean it's going to remain good. So that's why I was concentrating so hard on closing those positions, doing the drawdown control, because you've got to do it while it's moving, while you've got that opportunity to get out. But this one, I haven't got anything I can do with it. So that aggressive, I'm going to just put a break even on that because I do not want to go into drawdown on a six lot long. So yeah, if we can pull back into there and then rally again and do that tomorrow or maybe Monday, fine. I could put that TP all the way up in that propulsion gap, which gets me out of the entire position. Unlikely we're going to, I mean, it's not unlikely, it happens all the time, but we could put a V-shaped recovery within 48 hours on that move and get me out completely on the position. But I would rather get out with a very nice amount of money there and then do some drawdown control than hold and hope. If you hold and hope and it doesn't happen, you're stuffed and you're in the same position you were when you started that aggressive drawdown control. If you get out of that aggressive drawdown control and do the drawdown control and it pushes down, you've got a lot less lot sizing to worry about moving forward. That's the whole point. We're trying to keep our position sizing low. We're trying to keep the average close enough that we can get out of these positions, basically, because we don't know where the market's going. We don't. It's impossible to know. New Zealand yen 125 ADR. New Zealand still, rather, the yen still dropping. No news on the yen, is there? Getting greedy. OPEC ministers begin meeting on 2024 output at 3 o'clock. So OPEC has just gone back in. Brazil are set to join OPEC Plus as well. A massive producer, but Dow's stuck fast. I know you've been asked multiple times, but do you believe 10k is enough for position trading, risking 0.1 per position? You wouldn't risk 0.1 on a 10k account. You would go higher than that. Be going like 0.2s, 0.4s. Obviously, if you use the EA, it will just calculate the risk automatically for you. But yeah, 10k is enough to position trade with, definitely. Just don't expect to make an absolute fortune. Jesus Christ. This is not going to be my day today. This is going to absolutely destroy my month. Re-hedging the Dow. On a break of that high. It's going to lock in just over 2k profit, 2k loss. If that hedges, obviously. Hasn't hedged yet. In the morning, I asked you on 3/4 ADR inputs. In your answer, you told me that it's the minimum distance, but the MRA EA waits until the next reversal alert appears. Yeah. My EA seems to not wait until the reversal alert, but it enters immediately. You've probably got a conflict of magic numbers. So check all your magic numbers are unique. That's always what the problem is. If your EA is taking trades when you don't get a reversal alert, it's because there's a magic number conflict with another chart. Which is why magic numbers have to be unique, because the EA needs to know which positions to manage. Right, we're holding these highs at the moment, just about. Getting a little bit of rejection at the propulsion move on the NASDAQ. Getting some rejection on the S&P as well. So hopefully sellers are going to hold this short, which will hopefully stop the buyers buying. What an effed up morn. Absolutely. It feels like something's obviously feels like something's going to happen. It is happening, but we've been waiting for something to happen on the US dollar for absolutely ages. We've been waiting for something to happen on oil for absolutely ages. Seems like it's all kind of starting to happen. US dollar coming back down again. All over the place, isn't it? This could well just be a pullback. Just a lot of volume. Just need to wait for it all to play out and sort of reanalyze it again tomorrow. Euro New Zealand ADR. I'm exhausted. Days like this, you just want to go. So grab 2% anyway today. So that puts me on 12.8 for the month, which is a decent month. Unless the US dollar rallies like a lunatic to 200, 300 ADR today, in which case then it'll be a lot more, but I don't think so. That would be really nice. I really just want to hit. It feels like I just want to short this market today. It feels really, really heavy, but unable to get there. And it feels like someone's just going to go screw it and dump a few million in the market and it's just going to flush. I kind of want to get a big size on, but the only reason I want to get a big size on is because my month has just deteriorated dramatically. I'm up 9, 10, 11, 12% on the month, but with 6% DD. So I'm up 6% on the month, which is all right. But I just get the feeling there's a big trade on the cards today. Sort of trade you don't want to miss. because it's potentially something you could hold. If you can hold, I'm useless at holding, but something you could hold for a while, because as I say, we're waiting for this pullback. I've said it before, large moves tend to end with a rally, which is basically the market reaching for orders and not being able to find them, and then ending. So you end with, this is why you get shooting stars. This is the market reaching for opposite end of orders and not finding them and giving up. And then you get that collapse. It's like a stalling plane. Feels like that. And the fact that the Dow is hitting this monthly high and knocking a brick wall just feels to me like this could be the turning point on that rally. In which case then you've got potentially days of drop. A lot of volume coming in, trying really hard, but struggling. We'll see. Right. So at the moment, obviously these positions are just obviously I'm waiting on. I've got more that I can bank here. At the moment on the CAD Swiss specifically, excuse me. But I'm going to hold this because this is an aggressive drawdown control position. So the idea of this position is either it works or it doesn't. I need it to pay out properly, not just take this because it's a lot of money there, because it doesn't really do any drawdown. That will basically cancel out that position. So all I'm going to do is just get one to cancel one. That's not the point. Need to do a little bit more impact. So I'm going to leave that one running and see where we get to. We're just about 2% on stuff, so it's not a major problem at the moment. Indices wise, it's rolling over. Look, I just really want to hit the short button. I'm not going to do it. It's irresponsible. So this hedge on the NASDAQ, I'm holding at the moment. This is only $400. I'm not worried about it. I can't find a downside on this that I really like the look of today on the NASDAQ. This is obviously beyond ADR. So this weekly level is probably where I would look to get out of those, but I should be monitoring. So if we can flush down to there, I might look at exiting there. If we get a big flush today, we will probably get a pullback on the flush. So anybody that's entered short today, or the speculative players, will want to get out towards the end of the day. That usually happens in the last couple of hours. So if we can continue a rally down today, I would look probably for a bounce towards the last couple of hours of the market. But I'm going to hold that hedge, and I've got a very long target on it. So it will probably end up as a loss. So I don't necessarily think we're going to hit that. Obviously, everything else I'm out of apart from the Dow, which I'm going to re-hedge and lock that in if it continues to rally. If it continues to rally today, I'm not interested because it's just a mess. This market is up and down like a... I was trying to say something else then, but I won't say it. It's up and down like a kangaroo. Very hard to trade when it's bouncing around like this. So just got to kind of stick there and hold it and wait and see what happens. It's either going to work out, it's not. Head and shoulders on the S&P 5 minutes? Oh, I don't know. If there is, that's good, because 99% of head and shoulders patterns fail. Really? Where do you see a head and shoulders there? The head, if you're looking at that as a shoulder, that as a head, and that as a shoulder, the head has to be lower than the shoulders. That's a contraction at the moment. Could go anywhere, couldn't it, today? It's a lunatic. Just checking the Dixie, it's sitting right above the 50% pullback on the current range. Could go to 71.8. Could go to 61.8. Could go at the 50. Never know. Be careful risking 0.2 instead of 0.1 per position, even on a 10K account. I think you meant 0.01, not 0.02. Oh, yeah, 0.01, David was saying. Peter, I checked the magic numbers. They're unique. What else can be the reason? There isn't. It doesn't. It only works on reversal alerts. There is a buy line of code, and it triggers after the reversal alert line of code. I don't know. You will find you probably have a magic number conflict somewhere. I don't know. It can't trigger without a reversal alert. Bear in mind, most traders would love 6% in a month. Yeah, I know. I'm hedged on the Dow. That's me done for the day. This is the worst day of the month. It has to be the last day of the month, doesn't it? So this account is going to end basically in a 4% loss, which puts me down on 5% on the month, which is on this account, which is I kind of had a feeling about today. When the DAX did that to me this morning, I was like, it just felt like today was going to, it just felt like there's something brewing today for some reason. In hindsight now, I can see. So yeah, hedged on that. I'm not interested in the Dow today. It's basically sky's the limit for the Dow. It can go anywhere it likes now. It's out of all-time highs, pretty much. So not all-time highs, but it's out of those monthly highs. The US dollar and the Canadian dollar are reversing at the moment. So, but if we are above that high, there's not really anywhere to go now. You know, there's no, you can't pick a high on it. So you could basically on this, you could be looking for price action to give you a clue for when to get out of this long. And you could take every price action you see bearish and just basically be wrong, and you could be wrong all day, and this could end up at 300 ADR. So it's just not worth risking more money on it. It's just screwed me today, and that's what it is. So Euro Swiss and Pound Swiss, this Swiss franc going nuts still. Huge power up on the Swiss franc, which means my US dollar Swiss is getting more drawdowny. And obviously CAD Swiss is going to be struggling as well. God, what a day. I'm very glad November is over. How about culminating in pain at the end of the month? Anyway. So yeah, this market is completely retracing this move. So we want to watch this level on the CAD Swiss. So there's a propulsion gap now at that point. We've got 23 minutes left on this candle. This market is all over the place today, so just be careful. I've done well to bank that today, I think, and this could well be just a pullback drop. See what oil's doing. Oil reversing again. Look. The additional cuts will be announced today from Saudi Arabia and others. A lot of repositioning going on, basically, isn't it, today? So I shall leave it there and go and have a sleep. Been exhausted after all that today. I'll be back tomorrow morning. So we'll keep an eye on, obviously, what's going on with all of these moves. You're going to find a lot of these moves will unwind potentially tomorrow if they don't unwind today. So could be a lot of opportunities popping up. Obviously, the EA is just going to take the trades automatically for me on the hourly RSI extensions anyway. Indices just total mess today after the initial rally. So all coming down again now. Look, now that I've hedged it. It really feels like it wants to drop today, and it feels like it wants to drop hard. So, you know, that's a tiny little loss that I'm willing to take on the chance that that might be the high. Don't forget that line at the moment is that monthly high. If this is going to reject that monthly high, look at this selling off now. Look, it just feels like it wants to roll over. It's just really struggling to do it. When it does do it and it does get going, it's going to go. And I want to be on it. So I'm just getting out of those longs again. Again, I'll re-hedge it in. It's going to cost me around about another $300 to do it. But the upside potential on that actually dropping is, you know, way more than $300. So we'll see. But other than that, I'm going to leave that alone today. Rest of it. NASDAQ, I'm just going to let run. Which new low on the day on the NAS. So if we get down to that weekly low, I'll look for a bounce off of that. If it doesn't get there, it's a tiny hedge, so not a problem. All right, have a drink. Yes, I got a spin class at 5:30, so maybe after my spin class, I'll have a drink. So tomorrow morning, if you want to laugh, come and look at the Frankfurt session. Might still be half cut. No, I won't. Don't trade drunk. That is not a good thing to do. Trust me. So yeah, I'll be back tomorrow morning at 7:50. Here comes the melt. So watch the US dollar. I will shut up in a minute. It's just there's so much going on. There we go. The US dollar, look. Boing, straight back up again. So yeah, back tomorrow morning, 7:50 for the Frankfurt session. Back tomorrow afternoon as usual for New York. And we'll see where all of this is. If anything else moved far enough today, looking at the movement we've had in the last 2 hours, you know, we could be looking at 175 ADR or something on this afternoon for all I know. So if anything else does move far and fast enough for the position trading, I'll put it in the Telegram group. But I just want to sit on this at the minute and just see where the hell this goes, because everything's all over the place. Good luck. Oh, I'm loading tonight. So Brian will be half cut tomorrow. It is Friday tomorrow, so you know I like starting my Fridays on a Thursday. It's good fun. Anyway, I will see you guys tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow morning 7:50, 2:20 tomorrow afternoon for New York. Good luck this afternoon. Have a good one.